Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Ocho and Ortiz Disney podcast. And Josh is back for this episode as we review Moana. So, without further ado, let's get this stuff started. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Ocho and Ortiz Disney podcast is back in your life. As I said on the last episode where I was flying solo and I did the top 10 things I've learned since starting the Disney podcast, unfortunately, I've had some family issues lately and I just haven't really been in a mood to record. And on the last episode, Josh and I just weren't able to get our schedules coordinated properly. So I just decided to do a solo one to put it out there and try to get back into the habit of recording. Because as I did mention on the Timmy Britt interview, we are trying to get back into the habit of recording on a regular basis after we took like a 6-month hiatus due to the second or third wave lockdown here in Ontario. And speaking of Timmy Britt, if you haven't already done so, be sure you're picking up a copy of his book, Extraordinary Everyday Magic. It is available on Amazon in Canada and the US. Like I said, just look for the title, Extraordinary Everyday Magic. Obviously, because of the family emergency, I had put it away and I had stopped reading it for a bit. I just recently read the chapter that you were talking about in our interview with Timmy, the one with little Becky at the Ariel show at Disney World. And
Yeah.
man, that brought so many tears to my eyes as I was reading that earlier today.
No, that was a fantastic chapter. That was a great one. I remember talking that was like the one chapter that stood out to me that I wanted to talk to him about.
Yeah, it's a great book. There's a lot of sad chapters. There's a lot of happy chapters. There are chapters that'll make you laugh. There are chapters that'll make you cry. Again, be sure you pick it up on Amazon. If you can't find it on Amazon in your country, just go to timmybritt.art and go to the contact us section and let them know that you are looking for a copy of the book. And be sure to let them know that you heard Ocho and Ortiz talking about it, because if you do that, you will get free autographed side plates to go with the book. So you can get an autograph from Timmy if you actually message them at timmybritt.art. And I do apologize. My setup is a little different today. I've been staying with a friend for the past week, and so I don't have all of my equipment with me. So I'm doing the best I can, which is why you're seeing me hold the microphone tonight instead of having the big boom mic coming down and blocking out half of my face. But yeah, before we get into it, guys, if you want to give us a follow on social media, you can do so. We're available on Instagram, Twitter, facebook.com/Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod, Twitter at Ocho Ortiz Disney, and Instagram at Ocho Ortiz Disney Pod. We're also available on TikTok at Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod, so you can find us there. I haven't posted a lot of videos. I need to start posting a little bit more regularly. And of course, if you want to help support us, you can buy some of our merch. We are available on Teespring, which is now Spring. And because they've rebranded as Spring, their URL is really awkward. So I'll just post the link to the Spring shop in the description below, or you can go to our Spreadshirt, shop.spreadshirt.com/Ocho and Ortiz. Of course, because of the pandemic, we know money is tight. So if you can't buy merch or support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Ocho and Ortiz, the best way you can help support us by free or for free is just to listen to the show and share it with other people. And you can find us on most major podcasts and platforms: Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and of course, Podbean, Ocho and Ortiz, DisneyPod.podbean.com. With that out of the way, we are going to be talking Moana, as I said off the top. But first, Josh, it's been a while. It's been almost 2 months since we recorded that Timmy interview. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Just getting ready for that Disney trip. 50th anniversary. I can't wait. I'm excited. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward to that. You're going down. Of course, our friend Timmy Britt's going to be there as well. His birthday is actually on the 50th anniversary on October the 25th. So if you're down at Disney World, you might run into him. Not you specifically, Josh, because I know you're leaving before the 25th, but anyone that may be at Disney World down in Orlando on the 25th may run into Timmy Britt. So if you do, say hello. And Timmy Britt is a wonderful guy. He's personable. He likes to talk. So feel free to go up and say hello to him if you happen to run into him. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into Moana. Josh, this was your pick all the way back in January before we took our hiatus. I've watched this maybe 10 to 12 times in that time span.
I've only watched it twice in that time span.
I have not rewatched it recently because I didn't know when we were going to be able to record together again. I think the last time I maybe watched it was the same as you 2 weeks ago. So we're going to do our best to cover Moana. I want you guys to know now that this might not be our best review, but I think you guys should still stick around. Anyways,
it's going to be the absolute best.
Without further ado, Josh, why don't you start us off with Moana?
Okay. That's the one with the princesses, right?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, a lot of Disney movies, their animated movies especially, shockingly, have princesses in them.
Oh, shit.
Spoiler alert out there to anyone who didn't know that.
Yes. All right. So this movie, Moana starts. Why I say this movie as if I'm about to do the movie game for the other show. This movie revolves around when worlds collide. Fuck, where was it? Oh, so Moana. It starts with they're talking. It's her grandmother telling the story of what's his name? Maui. Thank you. Wow, this is gonna be fun. Maui, who's voiced by The Rock.
We're already off to a tremendous start.
Amazing start.
By the way, speaking of The Rock, just to interrupt for a sec, you and I recently had a chance to go see Jungle Cruise. It was your second time seeing it. It was mine. That was a terrific movie.
Yeah, we should review that one soon.
We will,
because we already saw it.
Yeah, if anyone out there is listening or watching this and hasn't seen Jungle Cruise, go check it out. But yeah. So Moana, it starts off with Moana's grandmother telling a tale about Maui.
Yes. Telling all this stuff that happened, how he went and basically stole the heart of Te-Fiti.
Yes.
Right. And then he got, attacked by the giant volcanic demon Taka.
Yeah.
And he loses
the lava monster Taka.
Yeah. He loses both of his, his fish hook and the fish hook that it's a magical fish hook that he can shapeshift into any animal. Yeah. He loses his fish hook and the heart of the sea.
Yeah, the fish hook basically is what gives him his magical powers and his ability to shapeshift, as Josh said.
Yeah, but then after that, it goes to it pans to basically Moana as a kid listening, or her grandmother's telling the story, but Moana's the only one who's actually interested in it. All the other kids are just scared shitless.
Yeah, because her grandma's telling it to basically, I guess, what would essentially be a daycare. Because at this point in the movie, they're showing Moana as a toddler. I would say maybe about 2 years old.
Yeah, I guess so. About 2 years old. Yeah, so they do that, and then what the hell? Sorry.
Yeah, so they cut to that, and you see all the other little toddlers completely traumatized by it. And then, as Josh said, you see Moana, and she's the only one that's like enthralled and just excited by this story. And then from there, we get the I forget the name of the song, but it goes into a song, and with the song comes a montage of Moana growing up. And my camera's frozen, so apologies. I'm going to get that fixed. I'll keep talking as I get that fixed. But so it goes into this the song and the montage of Moana growing up, and you see Moana constantly trying to run away and go to the ocean, and her father continuously pulls her away from the ocean and tries to get her to stay on land because, as her grandmother pointed out in the opening story, the seas have become a dangerous place since Maui stole the heart of Te Fiti, and to cause basically just causing destruction everywhere. So that's why Moana's people, I don't know if we ever find out the name of their tribe or the name of their people, but that's why their tribe stays on one island instead of going back and forth and exploring different places like they used to, which we'll find that part out in a bit. And so it's Moana constantly trying to get to the ocean, her father constantly bringing her back. And then it's just a montage of her growing up and her being trained on how to become the leader of her tribe as well, because her dad is the leader of the tribe, and so she's the one that's going to be taken over from him.
Yes. And he does not want her she always, talks about how she wants to go to the water and everything.
Yes.
And he's not about that life. you know
He most certainly is not. No.
no, definitely not. Sorry, where did you leave off? You cut out there for a second on me.
Oh, so I left off on the montage where he was her father was training her how to become the tribal leader to take over from him eventually.
Yes. So after that, isn't after that is where she starts singing How Far I'll Go? Because she goes to the water and everything.
Yes, it's a little bit after that, not immediately after, but it is after that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, let's say she's at the water, and then, her grandmother is there and everything. Oh, what we skipped over? The part where she finds the heart of Te Fiti as a child.
Yes. So as she's going to the ocean actually like opens up and presents her with the heart of Te Fiti.
Yeah, as a child.
Yes.
Presents it to her, and her family comes and takes her, makes sure she's not in the water. And fast forward later, Moana's older now, and she wants to be at the water. She wants to go sailing and everything, but her family doesn't want her to do that. And the whole point of this is that the island is basically dying. Everything that they are doing, to get food, planting new trees in different spots, everything is dying. They go to catch fish, there's no fish there. So she decides, let's go beyond the reef. And her dad's like, no.
Yeah.
Her dad refuses.
Once she's basically sort of become the second leader, her dad's still the tribal chief, but he's given her more and more responsibilities. But basically they want to stay on the island to stay safe. And as she grows up and she starts to take over, the island is slowly starting to die.
Sidebar: every time you say tribal chief, I'm thinking of Roman Reigns.
Well, this isn't the wrestling podcast.
Sorry. So Moana's grandmother, encourages her to learn about her ancestors, how they got there, what they did. So she shows them, so she takes it to like the cave, right? And tells her to go inside. And as she goes inside and she looks, she realizes that they were voyagers. And that
because
has like this.
There's like a bunch of ships there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ships there that are just hidden inside the cave, and she sees like a whole bunch of like it's almost like a spiritual thing where she like has like a visions and stuff and sees how they got there and stuff. There's a whole song about it and everything. And then she runs out of it saying, we were voyagers. And she
Yeah,
goes to tell her
I,
dad.
I think that's where they do How Far I Go. I think that's when they do the song for How Far I Go. I could be wrong on that,
Mhm.
but I think that's where they do How Far I Go. But yeah, so they see all the ships. She has this vision, and it shows her their background essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they were voyagers. They didn't just stay on one island like Moana had been told by her father. They traveled from island to island.
Yep. So she goes to tell her father, we were voyagers. I found boats, but we should go beyond the reef, and this and that. And he freaks out, says no, never, like it's not gonna happen. And then he goes to burn down the boats, but then somebody comes and say, oh, it's your mother. She's not. She's sick, whatever. So they race over to go check on their grandmother, and she's basically dying, right?
Yeah.
And so she gives Moana the heart of Tafiti and tells her to go find Maui and take him back to restore the heart of Tafiti. And as she runs to the water and gets ready to go, her mother sees her, gives her some food, and basically tells her to go. And so she does. She sets out on her voyage.
Well, before that happened, her mother actually told her the story of why her father didn't want her to go out in the ocean. And basically, that's because when her father was younger, I would say, based on the portrayal in the movie, probably his late teens, maybe early 20s, he went out into the ocean with one of his buddies, and the boat capsized, and his buddy got dragged down underwater, and we can presume that his friend died, drowned. So that's why Moana's father doesn't want her going out into the ocean, because she's afraid that she's going to get hurt the same way his friend ended up getting hurt.
Yeah. So she goes on she starts her voyage, and she needs to try and find where Maui is. But she's never really sailed before.
No, no,
And she didn't realize this, but she hears something. She looks inside the little cupboard thing, I guess, right? And inside there is the little chicken called Hey Hey,
yeah, her little,
sidekick.
let's say, slowly developed sidekick chicken. Hey Hey is not the brightest.
No, not at all. That's so fucking funny. So she starts to go on this, and then at one point she falls asleep. What?
Well, before we do that, I want to stay on Hey Hey, because she finds Hey Hey, right, and he's like in the little storage area where she's keeping her food and stuff. And,
Yep.
and I guess he wandered on there not knowing what was going on. So he starts to see his eyes widen as he
I know
realizes
what you're gonna say.
that he's in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by water. And then you just hear like the highest pitch sort of chicken screech out of him. And not Maui, Moana shoves him back into the storage compartment.
Yeah, that's awesome. So she's on her like her little boat trying to find where he is, and she gets caught in a typhoon. And it kind of becomes a blessing though, because as she gets caught in this typhoon, she gets shipwrecked on an island. But on that island is Maui.
Yes.
So it kind of works out in her favor. She finds Maui, and yep, there's Maui there on the screen. Maui again, voiced by The Rock.
He is there at the bottom.
Hey, hey, is there? Yeah. She finds Maui, and Maui starts singing this song. Goes to give her an autograph
Well,
on her oar.
first he doesn't see her. He just sees a boat, and he says, "The gods have blessed me with a boat." And he goes to lift up the boat, and as he lifts up the boat, that's where he sees Moana.
Yeah, and he screams and like drops the boat, and he's like, "A human? What?" Because he's a demigod, and yeah, he's like, "Oh, you want an autograph? I get it." So goes and then uses Hey Hey and his beak to write like Maui on her oar, and she's like, "I don't want an autograph." She's like, "I want you to board my boat, and then I want you to restore the heart of Tafiti." And he's like, "No." And then he starts singing his song, You're Welcome, which is fantastic.
It's such a great song.
Right? Oh, The Rock. What can't he do? So as he's singing that song, he then like twirls her and she's captivated by the song. And he twirls her into a cave and then says thank you and closes a giant rock on the cave.
Yep.
And takes her boat. But within that cave is like a statue of Maui. So she sees that there's an
statue of Maui.
Yeah, huge statue. She sees that there's an opening at the top of the cave. So she climbs she climbs up, uses the statue of Maui to get up to the top of that cave so she can escape. Runs, jumps, misses the water, misses the boat just barely, hits the water. But the thing about her, the water is on her side. The ocean, which has a mind of its own, literally takes her and puts her onto the boat.
Yeah, and
Maui
keeps trying to throw her back
into
the ocean, and the ocean keeps putting her back on the boat.
The best thing is that he does it and she comes back on. He's like, that was unexpected. And then he keeps trying to throw her off, and the water just keeps putting her back. By the way, he also has this little miniature tattoo of himself on him that talks to him and shit.
Well, not really talks, but like communicates with him verbally. Like it makes motions and does actions on and moves around and stuff.
Yeah.
But so also, I just want to get back to when he stole the boat from the island. He also noticed Hey, and he wanted to fatten Hey up with food so he can then later eat Hey.
Right. And when he puts some food there, Hey just starts pecking at the goddamn boat.
Yeah, like the boat in the sand, but not at the food.
Right.
So going back to they're on the boat, and Moana wants Maui to teach her how to sail because obviously she doesn't know how to sail, and obviously Maui doesn't want to cooperate, and eventually the ocean like shoves a tranquilizer dart in Maui's ass and it knocks him out, so he can't move. So he's forced to just like communicate with Moana while she learns how to navigate the ship or the boat.
Yes.
And
wait, what?
And then they eventually run into this group of like pirates, but they're like
coconuts,
little coconut creatures.
Yeah. Yeah. So they this giant boat of she's like, oh look, they're so cute, and then they put on like makeup to make them look like they're fucking like angry as shit.
Yeah, like their war paint. Yeah.
Yep. They put on their little war paint, and then they start attacking Moana and Maui on the boat and everything.
Yeah, because they're trying to get the heart of Te Fiti as well. Although it's never really made clear why they're trying to get the heart of Te Fiti. But
it's never really clear, like, because everybody wants the heart of Te Fiti in this movie, but it's not really clear why.
I guess it's because the heart of Te Fiti is supposed to give power to create life.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why everybody wants it, but like no one really specifies that that's the reason everybody wants it. It's just you kind of have to assume it. But yeah, so they get into this big fight with all the little coconut creatures, and eventually the coconut creatures one boat splits into two boats.
Yeah. Oh, and right before this, Hey eats the damn heart of Te Fiti.
Yes.
So now the little coconut creatures decide they're going to just take Hey. And after they get Hey, Maui's like, all right, I'm out. And she's like, what? So she leaves. So Maui tries to leave on the boat while Moana goes up and tries to get back Hey, which she does. And then, she keeps hitting them all and attacking them. And basically Maui has like a little bit of a conscience, turns back around. And,
doesn't Moana jump ship to ship? And
that's right. That's right.
Like the mast.
Yeah. Because the little coconut creatures threw a fucking giant rope that attached to her. That attached to her boat. So she jumps after she grabs Hey, she jumps on that to get back to her boat. And they start taking out all those ropes. They're trying to get away. And as they're trying, what they do is they go straight in between the two boats, and the two giant boats with all the coconuts crash, and they escape.
Yes.
Now, again, Moana says, take me to Fiti, like let me restore the heart, and he does not want to do it. So, what the ocean does?
Not only does he not want to do it, but he says in order to do it, he needs to get his magical hook back.
Yeah.
And to do that, they have to fight off this giant crab, but I can't remember the name of the crab.
The crab's name is Tamatoa.
Yes. Yeah.
Tamatoa, a giant coconut crab.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but what one of the funny things before that is, as they're trying to, as she's trying to go, he doesn't want to go. So what the water does, like the ocean, takes one of the blow darts. That was
right. That's when the blow dart comes in. Sorry,
yeah.
I had it down as earlier. Yeah. It's here where the blow dart comes in.
So they take one of the blow darts that was stuck inside the ship. What's that called? From the little coconut guys, and sticks it into his ass. So he's like, blow dart. So then he finally reluctantly teaches her how to sail.
Yes.
And then as she falls asleep, when they hit land, she's like, look, I did it or whatever, right? And then they find out that they're at the entrance to the realm of monsters where Tamatoa is. And they go down into the realm. He doesn't think she's going to follow, but she does. And she decides to try and distract Tamatoa so that Maui can get his fish hook. And during that time, we get another song.
I think it's Maui that comes up with the idea to distract Tamatoa and use Moana as bait.
Yep. That's what happens.
Because we got to basically Tamatoa is attracted to anything that's shiny. He wants like everything shiny and that looks valuable. So Maui decides to dress Moana up in every sort of like shiny metal type thing that he can find.
Pretty much. And then that's when we get the song coincidentally called Shiny by Tamatoa, who sings that one. As he's singing that, Maui is on top of him and gets his fish hook, but it doesn't want to work. Like it works, but it doesn't want to work into what he wants to. He's just he tries to turn into like a giant hawk, and he turns into a little bug.
Yeah,
and he can't figure out how to get it to work properly. So then Tamatoa basically starts beating the shit out of Maui, and to escape because again, Tamatoa wants anything that's shiny or whatever, but there's this like green slime almost looking shit.
Yeah, so like this green algae type stuff.
Yeah. So what Moana does is she takes just a regular rock and covers it in that and makes it look like it's the heart of Te Fiti. And he gets distracted by that. And as he gets distracted by that, Maui and her are running out, and he's like, what about the heart? And he's just like, it's okay, I still have it here. And then Tamatoa gets the fake heart, looks at it, and he says, wait, this isn't real. This is just a rock covered in algae. And then he starts chasing them, but it's too late, because as to get out of the realm of monsters, they jump onto this giant like air pressure thing that shoots them up through the water. But as they do that, it also turns Tamatoa onto his back. He's like, wait, what did you think of the song?
Yeah, so he's upside down on his back, and they manage to escape.
Yeah. And then now basically it's Moana trying to help Maui believe in himself so that he can actually turn into what he needs to be turned into with his shape-shifting powers, because he couldn't believe in himself anymore.
Basically, it's a retraining of for Maui to relearn how to use his hook.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a whole story about reveals how he got his first tattoo. His parents abandoned him as an infant, and that God's taking pity on him, granting him the powers. And after that, after they learn how to do that, there's a little montage of him getting everything back to normal. And do they fight other monsters? I think he did, don't they, or no?
I don't think so. I from what I can remember, it's just a montage of him learning how to shapeshift again.
Yeah,
because when he first tried it, he was like he was half Maui from like the waist down, but then he had like the head of a shark.
Yeah. And he's like, what's wrong? She's like, nothing's wrong. But yeah, then they finally decide. So during that montage, they figure out he realizes what he needs to do and how to become, shapeshifted again. And then they finally arrive at Tafiti's island. But as soon as they arrive at Tafiti's island, they are attacked by Taka.
Mhm.
And he's telling her to turn around, and she refuses to turn, and they just get pretty much wasted away.
The thing is, he's trying to tell her how to navigate through Taka to get to Fiti.
Yeah.
But what happens is Moana, as Maui is fighting off Taka, notices that because Taka is a lava monster, that anytime Taka tries to attack them and her hand goes into water, like the lava obviously explodes, and it momentarily basically stuns Taka. So Moana decides to try to go the long way around to get to Tafiti, because she figures if they remain close enough to the water for long enough, that Taka, if she keeps punching into the water, is not going to be able to get them, because what Moana is trying to do is go far enough around to where the island sort of splits up and there's like a middle part where Taka wouldn't be able to get to them. But Maui keeps telling her not to go that way. And then Maui turns the ship around. And then that's when Taka lands just a large blow to Maui and ends up shattering his hook.
Yeah. It's just cracked. It's not shattered yet, right? Then it's damaged, right? It's badly damaged, but he's still able to use it. And then he decides to take off, and he abandons Moana. And she cries to the water, into the ocean, to find someone else to do it.
She throws the heart of Tafiti into the ocean.
Yep, she gets rid of the heart, and that's when the spirit of her grandmother shows up, and basically inspires Moana to continue on this voyage or journey, right?
Yeah.
And Maui returns after having a change of heart, and he decides he's going to help Moana, buy her some time by fighting so that she can reach Tafiti. And Taka, though, he's there, she's too strong, destroys the hook in the process of this, and that's when Moana realized something about Taka.
Well, not yet. So as Maui is battling Taka, it gives Moana enough time to get to the island of Tafiti, which we see at the beginning of the movie when her grandmother's telling her about it, is just this beautiful place with luscious forestry and just tons of life. And now it's just completely devastated. It's like this black charcoaled island. And so Moana's fighting her way to the island, and eventually Taka catches on to this. And so she starts throwing lava bombs at Moana as Moana's trying to climb to the top of the island. And then once Moana gets to the top of the island, she notices that Tafiti is gone. There's nowhere for her to put the heart of Tafiti. And so she looks back and sees Maui still fighting with Taka. And that's when she notices that Taka is actually Tafiti, and that she needs to put the heart back into Taka. So she holds up the heart of Tafiti to get Taka's attention, and she tells the ocean, "Let her come to me." So the ocean separates, allowing Taka to meet Moana halfway, because Moana walks back down to walk towards Taka. And then Moana puts the heart back into Taka, and then Taka slowly starts to reform into Tafiti, and you see all the islands in the area start to get their vegetation back, all their animals, all their plants, all their life starts to come back. So Taka was actually Tafiti all along.
Yes. Taka was basically born out of anger that Maui took the heart.
Yeah.
Right. So after she restores the heart, Tafiti goes back to the island, and they have not a little moment. I don't know if you noticed it, but Tafiti looks like Moana,
Yeah.
like the face,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then Moana and Maui have a little talk with Tafiti, and he said he starts apologizing for stealing the heart and everything.
Well, first
And
it's like, Tafiti, long time no see. How's it going? And he's like, I'm listen, what I did was wrong, and I'm really, really, really sorry.
yes, and then after that,
Well,
uh
Tafiti fixes Maui's hook, and then she ends up giving Moana a new boat because her boat had gotten wrecked in the battle with Taka.
yes, and then after that she goes home, and everything is pretty much is everything is getting better, and her dad realized she was right all along. They should go start. He realized that Moana was right all along, that they were voyagers and everything, so that's what they should do. And they break down like the rocks that were in the cave there, and out come the boats. And Moana teaches all of them how to sail and everything, just the same way that Maui taught them. And it ends with a whole bunch of boats going into the water to venture beyond the reef
Yeah,
and find new land.
with the reprise of the song from the beginning
Yeah.
of the movie, and then that rolls into the credits as we see Moana start to teach all of her people how to sail, because it had been such a long time that they had forgotten how to sail.
Yes, sir.
And then, so did you stick around to the end of the credits?
No.
Okay. So I didn't know if you had this part or not, but at the end of the credits, we get Tamatua again, still on his back, and he's singing Shiny, and he says, "Shiny, I'm so shiny." It didn't help me though, did it? Still upside down here. Just need a little push. And then he pauses and he says, "Can we be real? If my name was Sebastian and I had a cool Jamaican accent, you'd totally help me. You would. You would."
You know what? I remember this, I think, from watching it when I first watched it, like, 4 years ago. Oh, I remember that vaguely.
I absolutely died at that part. It was so great. But yeah, that was Moana. Again, apologies for the review. We've been playing this since January. I've watched this like 12 times, so I'm doing the best I can to fill in the gaps of what I remember. But Josh, overall, what would you rate Moana?
Moana in itself is like an 8. This movie is fantastic. It is a really, really good movie. Great characters, great songs in the movie, not just how I'll go, but or how far I'll go. Shiny's pretty good, and the one from The Rock, You're Welcome. It's fantastic. It's a great movie. Characters are good, and yeah, I can't wait for the second one.
Is there a second one being made?
I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This movie, as Josh said, the songs were excellent. I thought the story was really, really, really good. I thought the pacing of the movie was really well done. I honestly, I did not see any flaws in this movie other than the one that we brought up earlier, where it really doesn't say why the coconut creatures are chasing after the heart of Tafiti, and you kind of have to guess at why. But really, that's the only, because I mean, with Tamatua, it's because he knows about the heart of Tafiti, but it's also shiny, and he collects shiny things, so you know why he's going after it. But that was the one flaw, was the coconut people not being explained. But having said that, overall, this was a completely flawless movie. I could not find anything to hate on. So I am going to give this, and I believe this is the first time on the show that I'm giving a movie this rating, 10 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I did a little quick thing. I don't see, maybe I was wrong. I guess it's not a second movie, but they are doing a Disney Plus TV series based on it, set for release in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so question for you. Have I ever given a movie a 10?
I
Do we know?
I
I think we need to start writing these down.
Yeah, I need to go back, and that's been my plan for a while. Go back and find out what we've given every movie rating wise. I just haven't done it. I think you gave a movie a 10. I'm pretty sure. I just
Was
can't
it Descendants?
remember. I want I think you gave Descendants a 9.5. Maybe that was the one that you gave a 10. I'm sure you gave something a 10. I can't remember what it was.
And on our next episode, Descendants 3. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, next episode is my pick, so we'll see. But having said that, before we start to wrap things up, guys, again, please be sure you're going out and getting Timmy Britt's book, Extraordinary Everyday Magic. It's an absolutely tremendous book. Again, you can find it on Amazon in the US or or Canada. If you can't find it on Amazon in those countries or in your country, go to timmybritt.art, go to their contact us section, and they'll send you a copy of the book. And like I said, when you contact them, if you send them a message saying that you heard about it on the Ocho and Ortiz Disney podcast, they will also give you an autographed book covers that you can put with the book. So you'll get an autograph right from Timmy. And like I said, guys, you can find us on most major podcasts and platforms. We are available on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and of course, Podbean, Ocho and Ortiz DisneyPod.podbean.com. We have been doing video podcasts again as well. So if you want to watch the video podcasts, you can just go to YouTube and search for Ocho and Ortiz Disney Podcast on there. And as far as our social medias, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod, Instagram at Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod, or Twitter at Ocho Ortiz Disney, and TikTok as well at Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod on there. And if you want to help support the show, again, merch, our spring shop will be in the link in the description. You can go to shop.spreadshirt.com/Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod, or you can become our patron on Patreon, patreon.com/Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod. Of course, like I said off the top, the best way you can support us for free is just by following us on social media and sharing these episodes with your friends. And having said that, Josh, is there anything else you'd like to say this week before we go?
Thanks for listening. Sorry for such a long break again. Hopefully, we will be back much sooner than last time. Well, actually, you know what? This is sooner than the time before. So hopefully, we'll be back even sooner than this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like I said, I've had some ongoing family issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the show right now is going to be dependent on that as well as scheduling, but mostly the family stuff. So we're going to try to stay more consistent from here on in. But again, family is going to take priority. Yeah.
I'll you know what? Hopefully I can put up some posts, some videos, or some pictures or something for one of our social medias for my trip to Disney.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. And again, if you are down in Disney for their 50th anniversary on October 25th, Timmy Britt's going to be there because it's his birthday that day too. So if you see Timmy, stop by, say hello, tell him you've watched his interviews on the Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod. And guys, having said that, as always, whether you're watching this in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, whatever time of day it is, where you are, when you're watching or listening to this, we thank you for watching or listening to this. We appreciate you watching or listening to this. And we will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Bye-bye.